The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Hey now, it's the summer of 2015 at 10, and that means every Friday, like this one, we are back here for the music video companion series. Normally, I kick off this with Jessica Altman, but for a specific reason we'll get to in this episode, we're starting with our lovely returning champion and author, Greg McGoon.
Hello, I'm excited to be kicking this off with you.
Yes, don't worry, Jessica is back next week and will appear 3 times during this music video episode. So she'll be on there more than everybody else. So you get your Jessica, Altmanatics. Greg, nice to have you here. Maybe, you know what, the day we're recording this, the I Know What You Did Last Summer Legacy sequel trailer dropped, and maybe the 3 of us can get back together and talk that movie when it comes out in the middle of the summer, because we had a retrospective and now there's a new one, so we should update, right?
Absolutely. I'm so hyped up for this new movie.
I think it looks
good.
I know. I think
it really looks good.
I think it looks dopey, and I'm there for that. Like, I am all about it. I'm all about it. I don't think any of the young cast looks like a movie-ready cast, but okay, that might help our enjoyment of it.
I mean, it looks like they're not taking it that seriously, but they are. Like,
like unintentional. Yeah, like it's better because they're serious, and it's gonna be funnier because they're serious.
But like the dialogue, even like just her being like, "I think I should start drinking," or what was that last line? That one girl looking out, "This is so beautiful, I could die," or so like I could die here, or whatever. Like it's just self-aware lines, and I'm like, how does this fit into the movie? But I'm here for it. I think there's like little winks to the audience of the absurdity of bringing this back.
Yeah.
Even having Jennifer Love Hewitt just flat out asking, like,
well, when Freddie Prinze first shows up, it's like, is this a parody of stuff? Like, it's so funny. But the thing is, I sound like I'm still excited for this movie, but in a whole different way. Kind of been like, I'm still there for it. I'm still there.
I don't know. I think it'll be good. I just love that style of horror. Those really, I mean, it looks well produced. It looks well made. Visually, it looks shot really nice. Like it just looks
it's slick,
quality. And it is a slick film production. So I'm here for it. If this cast is like even the opening sequence of the trailer where that guy is getting the spear thing through him and getting like pulled or whatever, and the girl is in the bathtub with the self-help tape playing on or whatever. I just think it was interesting. Like that almost had Scream-like vibes to it. Like that an opening kill type of thing from like a Scream or something.
There's the funny, I want to credit my sister for this. She texted me and goes, "Dude, what if they make the Ben Wilson Will's son?" That's good.
Oh my God. I mean, I love everything about it. I love that they showed Helen Shiver's grave in there. Like,
Sarah Michelle Gellar got her corpse in 2 movies. They're ready to go, or her memory in 2 movies.
I mean, well, as she should. You should never forget about her. Like, never forget
the queen.
That she should have just kept running in the first one, but whatever.
Okay, we are talking a lot about I Know What You Did Last Summer from 2025. But Greg, where were you at in 2015? What's Greg McGoon doing in 2015?
That is a great question. I was living in New York. I was there
this year and I missed it already. Like I wasn't ready to go. I don't know why that city does that to you, but all right.
What was happening in 2015? Summer of 20. Was that the first year I did Broadway Bears? No, that was the second year I did Broadway Bears over the summer. That would have been in June. So yeah, I was doing Broadway Bears for the second time, which is that big charity show where you're barely dressed and you're raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. That was wait, I did 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, I did 2014, 15, and 16. So I was rehearsing for Broadway Bears during this period of time, while living in New York. And yeah, I think that's basically all I can remember without looking back at photos right now of
Fair
that
enough.
year.
I mean, we had
But yeah,
social
Broadway
media
Fairy.
now to look back on compared to like 2004 and stuff when we had been
Oh,
doing this
that's
series.
true.
So,
I
um,
don't know. That is
so
true.
the movies we talked about on the Monday episode this week, I'll just go with these and through these, and if you have a comment or two on them, if you've seen them,
Okay.
okay. First one is Welcome to Me. It's a Kristen Wiig indie film that also has
Yes,
James Marsden. Yep. Did you see that one?
I have. Okay, I'm trying to remember it, but I did like it.
She
Was
like,
that the one where she no, I feel like this is like a guessing game. Was that the one where she like but not a game show. Something to do with money? No, what was
yep,
that one? That
you're
was
close. No, this is where she pays to give herself a TV show on a
Yes.
struggling
And then
network. Yeah.
yes. Okay, I was like, it wasn't a game show. There was something with TV, and she started the show. I liked it. James
Yep.
Marsden was the guy.
James Marsden was in it. And him and some I forget who it was. They played brothers and they had really good chemistry in it. That's gonna bug me. It also had Elizabeth Banks in it, who is in like 80 movies during the summer of 2015,
Yep.
and that is not a joke. It was James
Oh, wow.
Marsden and Wes Bentley. They play brothers in it, and they have like really good chemistry.
I
Joan
remember Wes
Cusack is
Bentley.
in it as well, and
Yes,
Alan,
I remember
yeah,
Joan Cusack.
and Tim Robbins is like her psychologist or psychiatrist and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really cool movie. I liked it.
I like it. I mean,
Um,
as I barely remember details, but I anything that has Kristen Wiig in it, I'll watch just because I like her. And Joan Cusack, I really like. And
mhm.
I do really like James Marsden, but I'm forgetting him, but I'm remembering Wes Bentley more in that movie for some reason.
She has a
Um,
relationship with Wes Bentley for a bit in that
that's
movie. That's
probably
probably
why
why.
I
Hmm.
remember him. Yep, there you go.
Um, the second movie is Far from the Madding Crowd, an adaptation of that with Carey Mulligan. Michael Sheen's also in it. It's a period piece, one of those like it's this woman like I guess makes poor relationship choices and stuff. It's a something.
Okay.
Gabbar is back. This is a Hindi kind of political action movie, like they do. And then this little indie film called The Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh, that little film. Okay.
Yeah. Which as we talked about, like watching that was like, wow, they used to do these like, and we all know Joss Whedon. We all know what happened to him, but man, that guy could write some. Nobody can write the snappy dialogue like he does, and I think they've tried to emulate that to poor degrees in Marvel in the past few years. But like watching that in the proximity with which I watched Captain America. Brave New World did not help Captain America Brave New World because it was like, oh, look how far we've fall. I don't think Marvel's like, oh God, they're so terrible now. But like, there's a difference in the quality of what I was watching with Avengers: Age of Ultron, which was still using a lot of practical sets, much better cinematography, felt bigger. Just and the dialogue, the witty dialogue was so much better, and the characterization stuff, to where this thing was like just a dopier version of it. But
I think Thunderbolt's coming out like coming out soon.
mhm.
Kind of starts getting that flavor of snappy dialogue back that I
Yeah,
think we've been missing.
they did like some reshoots which hired people from like the Bear and stuff to rewrite, and
Yeah.
I've heard that's helped quite a bit.
So
It's too good to
I
see.
think the trailer has like a rhythm to it that I actually really enjoy
Hmm.
that is drawing me in more so than other Marvel movies because I can't tell you a thing about which is which in half of these movies. They all
Which
just
is
blend
fine. I mean, we are 30 some movies in. I mean, it's crazy. So moving on, I want to before we get to this video, music videos in 2015. This is a really different time because they're not really a big factor in the marketing push for an album or a single anymore. And they still
together.
make them, but they're a lot cheaper, less lavish productions. And unless you're Taylor Swift, or Beyonce, or Lady Gaga, they don't feel like an event anymore or like something that has to be there. Um,
True.
and so this is an interesting summer, and this is also gonna be a summer where Brandon's not as cool with music anymore and isn't as in touch with things or what Brandon's listening to isn't hitting the pop charts or anything like that. So like I'm listening I'm listening to what I listen to, but I'm not like on it. So if I miss out some factoids or something, or don't sound like I am into or know up and up on these bands this summer, well, just it's just old Brandon out of touch. He's got two kids at this time. Yeah, I don't even play like I'm not. I don't think I'm even playing video games anymore. I'm that old. That's one thing I had to go. But if you want Brandon as a podcaster and writer and stuff like that, you got to accept that he's not playing the video games because my time's going to that. And movies. But our first video this week, we're discussing Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, "See You Again," which was commissioned for the Furious 7 track and intended as a tribute to Paul Walker. This is Wiz Khalifa's biggest single to date. It spent 12 non-consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, tying Eminem's "Lose Yourself" as the second longest running rap #1 single in the country, only behind Lil Nas X and Old Town Road. This held the record for most streamed track in a single day on Spotify, but was beaten later this summer by One Direction's "Drag Me Down" when we get there. It set a record for most streams in a single week worldwide. Is the best-selling song of 2015 worldwide, combined sales and track equivalent streams of 20.9 million units, certified diamond, and one of the most streamed songs on Spotify ever with 2.1 billion streams. It got 3 Grammy nominations, Song of the Year, Best Pop Duo or Group Performance, and Song Written for Visual Media. The Song of the Year winner, do you know what it lost to?
I don't.
Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. The other nominees were All Right by Kendrick Lamar, Blank Space by Taylor Swift, and Girl Crush by Little Big Town. It won pop, or no, it did not win pop duo either. Would you know what won that?
No.
Uptown Funk, a little song. You might have heard of that one.
That came out the same year.
Yeah. Other nominees it was up against were Ship to Wreck by Florence and the Machine, Sugar by Maroon 5, Bad Blood by Taylor Swift. And then its final loss, Song Written for Visual Media. The winner, I'll give you a clue. The song makes Chris Pine cry.
Makes Chris Pine?
Chris Pine, the best Chris, cry.
Yeah, I know. I love Chris Pine.
If you remember the Oscars.
Oh. Oh. Vaguely, but just tell me.
Glory by Common and John Legend. The other nominees were Earned It, 50 Shades of Grey by The Weeknd, Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding, and Till It Happens to You by Lady Gaga. This song started with Puth and some producers who were already working on it. And do you know who the other rappers that before they brought Wiz Khalifa in, do you know who they were? That
No.
did verses and tried to be this song.
Interesting.
Eminem, 50 Cent, and Tyga.
Really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad they went with Wiz Khalifa then.
And another one thing, the label wanted to replace Charlie Puth's vocals with a known singer. Do you know who they brought in?
No.
Chris Brown, Sam Smith, and Jason Derulo. Chris Brown apparently got very close, and then apparently Adele tried to get herself involved to singing him.
Adele?
Isn't this insane backstory of this like massive hit that were like, you two aren't good enough. We want other people. But yeah, Adele tried to get in somehow. Yeah.
But it started with Charlie Puth.
Sorry, with well, there's
kinda-
two producers working on stuff. Charlie Puth comes in and he convinces them to use a piano instead of a beat that he used the same chords and stuff, the same riff, but like he convinced them to turn it to piano and then build off that. And yeah, I think Puth is probably the mastermind behind the song, but like he really pushed fight to keep himself in it, and he won in the end. But what are your thoughts just on the song before we go to the video and everything else?
I mean, okay. Well, we have to just go back to real quick detour to 2013 because the impact of Paul Walker's death on me.
Oh my God.
eh,
Everybody
Like
should know where they were that day.
I do remember the moment I found out. I had showed up in my apartment and I was my apartment had a narrow, like you open the front door and it's a hallway and there's literally a room like a door right next to the front door. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
an inch away is the door frame for the side room or whatever. So it's just a long hallway with just a door that goes into a room. And I open the front door and I step into the apartment and before I could even shut the front door, the my roommate opens her bedroom door, which is right in front of me. Like we're talking like a foot away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Opens the door, is like, "Did you hear Paul Walker died?" I'm like, What?" And I like freeze. I was like, "No, like, what are you talking about? What are you even talking about?" And she's like, "Paul Walker died." I was like, "No." And like I was in complete shock that I did my first ever actual wall cry. I now understand how they happen in movies because I like leaned to the wall and I just sank to the floor and I just started weeping when I found out that he died. And it was just in my apartment and my roommate just spilled it. I was like, this can't be. And then I went and looked it up and I'm still like in shock. Like he was robbed of us and that man had such a chokehold on my childhood and a lot of I mean, his impact in my he was like my one major celebrity crush, I feel like as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so his death just, I mean, Joyride, that one scene in Joyride when you know DVD players that had that little A/B feature where you could just like repeat the same little moment on it. There was
Mm-hmm.
one little moment in Joyride that I would just press on a repeat for a while. Thank you, Paul Walker, for that memory. So that just he knowing that he was gone really bothered me and then knowing that this song is attached to his death is I can't listen to it without crying still to this day.
It's sad, and it's like it's a weird feeling listening. It's like uplifting and sad, and like it feels like I don't know. You could ask for a better send off for somebody than a song
Agreed.
like this. This is the candle in the wind of the 21st century. Like it sounds
Agreed.
stupid, but so like where I was with that when you go 2013, like I was a Fast and Furious denier, and like I watched the first one. I saw it in theaters. I was okay. Never saw two, three, or four, and I heard five was good, and I was like, whatever. And then when six was coming out, and I was doing my retrospectives on Naptown when I had my Naptown nerd blog, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do Fast and Furious leading up to six. I saw the light. Fast Five is one of the best action movies of the 21st century, and I went to Furious Six, and I loved it. And I was like,
Mhm.
so cloud nine for this series. I loved all the characters, the actors, they were good. And that day,
Mhm.
I was sitting there, I was like on Twitter or something, and like there's this poet, and everybody's like, for the longest time, is he dead? Is he not? Is this a hoax? Is this? It was nuts. And then it ends up being real. And then I think
Yeah.
TMZ reported it, and everybody's like, everybody always denied TMZ, but they got the
Mhm.
scoops. They got
Yep.
mad, but they were right
Yep.
most of the time. They don't fuck up on TMZ. You get mad
Nope.
because there's other stuff on there, and they bug celebrities, harass them, and they're annoying with stuff. But they do get stuff, and they do check source it. Like, and I was so upset. Like it was crazy. Like it was like what the hell? Like all this stuff. And then there did you see that movie he did about like Hurricane Katrina and he's
Yep.
got like a baby and that movie wrecked me. Like being a newer father and then watching this guy give the performance of his life and this suspenseful shit and keeping a baby alive when you know this man died and like oh and yeah I
I'm gonna cry right now again. I
yeah
love him so much.
he
He was so
was
beautiful
and
and
then hearing
lovely.
all the nice things about him and how he was like and the fact that he's in these movies and he dies by a sports car auto accident was just like oh Jesus um but yeah we'll get into the movie Furious 7 in a little bit but this song's perfect like I no notes no notes like I maybe you heard it too many times that summer I still don't think I've heard it enough because it hits every time like
That's
I
why. That's why I'm surprised that it lost when you were talking about the awards because of all the songs you listed off.
Hmm.
I feel like this is the one that I have most ingrained in me from then. Although, even though I'm not a Swiftie, I Blank Space is solid and odd,
Oh
like
yeah. Oh,
because
that album is
that
great.
whole
Every
album.
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I own it on vinyl. Like I do. I got sucked into the woo, re-release new vinyl. Like I don't even own anything else of hers,
Yeah.
but I own that.
It's one of the
So,
best it's one of the best pop albums of that decade.
it
So,
it it really is. It is.
um,
Yeah.
and
But
the one thing with See You Again, it's huge this year. It's this, but you know what else happened this year too? It came out in 2014 technically, but its run
yeah,
goes through 2015. Is Uptown Funk is the biggest song of the decade. So that takes all that pulls a lot out of it. And then I think just maybe in the Grammys have like at this time still an older voting audience that isn't, they see more traditional stuff. I mean, you see Taylor Swift winning there and like others like, um, but Glory's a good song too. But I mean, yeah, but I mean, this one's still playing on the radio regularly. Like,
it's
yeah,
good. It's
it's so
just
good.
it's good. And I mean, every time you hear it, like it's been a long time, I'll see you again. I just start crying. Like I
Yeah,
just can't because that's like I'm not gonna see you again, Paul Walker. I'm
yeah.
not.
Oh,
Uh,
um, so the video here is directed by Mark Classfield. This guy has done a fucking ton of videos from JoJo Siwa to Alien Ant Farm to Machine Gun Kelly to Casey Musgraves to Kelly Clarkson to Kid
really?
Rock, Charlie XCX, Katy Perry, Spaces, Katy Perry. It's not just you, Fast and Furious, that goes to space. Katy Perry does too. Britney Spears, Flo Rida, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Aerosmith, Foo Fighters, Destiny's Child, Backstreet Boys, Three Doors Down, Enrique Iglesias, like NSYNC, Vanessa Carlton, like, and the only thing really notable that's not a music video was one episode of the show Oz on HBO. I just was like, okay.
Okay.
This was the most viewed video on YouTube from July 10th to August 4th of 2017. Like, okay. It's YouTube's sixth most viewed and fourth most like music video ever with has over 6.6 billion views. The music video has Wiz Khalifa rapping in slick car showrooms and stuff like that. Charlie is on a hill facing the city at dawn playing piano, and there's clips from the movie. There's
Yeah.
not
But
much, not much fucking
yeah.
here. It's your classic. We have a soundtrack video. We're not gonna put too much money into it, and we want to sell the movie while we're doing this. So, real quick thoughts in the video. Fine, I get to hear the song and see some of my favorite one of my favorite franchises going through clips. Greg, quick on that.
I mean, like, how can you not cry when you watch this video?
Yeah.
It's just like it's Paul Walker and like family, and they're all together and they won't be together again. And he's smiling, and they have the scene from the movie with the digital Paul Walker where that final scene of Seven is in the trailer or is in the music video too, with the Dominic looking at Paul Walker, which was his face put onto his brother's face or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um in that final moment when they part ways. It's just, I mean, like again, like you have that moment in the music video from the movie where it's just like Dominic looking at him on the beach with the child and like yeah, like it's family and it's nice and it made me cry and I watched it like 6 times before this because I put it on. I was like, I need to see Paul Walker smile again and I just
Yeah.
put it on.
Where the song
So
is used in the movie is just like the song's in the movie. You know it. And when it starts, you're like, oh, here we go. Here come the
yeah.
waterworks. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's from a car movie, like this ridiculous car fantasy action movie. Because at this point, they're like spies now in this series, and you're like watching them drive away, and it's just like, oh, the series is never the same after this. Like
Mhm.
it's like and
It's so much
perfect.
more than about cars, though. It's
Yeah, no, it is.
family.
It is. There's a lot of stuff.
It's so much.
They found something that completely works, gets us all going. And it incorporates like telenovela melodrama too, which I love. And like Saw has a
Yeah.
bit of that too, where it's like we embrace our ridiculous character storylines and things like that. Don't you?
Yeah.
You come for that. Stay for the cars.
Yeah.
But when he drives off, they part ways driving, and Paul Walker's kind of goes up the hill. I was like, ah, stop it,
It's
stop it.
I miss him so much.
So real quick, we're gonna talk. I wanted to talk about Furious 7. This is why Jessica bowed out of doing this one because she's not the biggest. She hasn't seen all the Fast movies and didn't feel good like talking. But I wanted to talk about Furious 7 because this movie just it misses the summer of because it came out in April. Because that's what the Fast movies were doing. They were like, we're gonna jump right before summer and dominate April, where it's open to the box office, and these movies make tons of money. And Furious 7 made over $1 billion. And what are your thoughts on Furious 7?
I'm honestly, because I've seen them all, I've like they kind of start blending together, so I
Mhm.
need to kind of remember. Furious 7 is the
Jason
one, didn't the
Statham's
cars come out of the
yes.
yeah, cars out of a plane. And
Hmm.
there was like a bus off a cliff and things like that. Like this one, I think really like you wonder how after each movie they're gonna up the ante. And I
Hmm.
feel like this one just took it to a new level that was kind of always like exhilarating in its own way. Um, but again, I knew that like Paul Walker was dying, so um, I kind of was just waiting for how that was going to be like handled in the movie. So watching it, it was hard to focus during the movie, knowing that he wasn't there for the like for the final
Yeah.
filming of it, having to navigate that. But I just remember the stunts being really overwhelming in like a great way that rivaled a lot of other franchises. Because I mean, like the stunts that they were doing, I feel like rival those of like the Mission Impossibles and all that, which are
Yeah.
so extreme all the time. And I don't think Fast and Furious gets as much credit as I think they deserve for really pushing boundaries on what
Hmm.
stunts can be done and what actually happens in things. Because they really wait, was no, that was
These are a little
five.
more
What was the one?
cartoonish, but
This one
it's
was this one having them also between the two, or was that six or so? See, they all start blending together a little bit. Where they were doing like a street chase, and they were like hopping between like big rigs, and there was something. Was that in this one too, or was that earlier? I think that was earlier.
that was
I don't.
earlier. This one
Yeah,
this
that
one
was earlier.
has yeah. This one you have to wonder what was Furious 7 before Paul Walker died because there were extensive
That is
rewrites,
what I
changes,
do wonder.
and this is the first one that brings in Kurt Russell as the Mr. Nobody,
Yep.
and it has Jason Statham as the bad guy. To which, oh my gosh, the finale. So the finale of this thing has a bunch of drones and stuff going around the city,
Yep.
and Jason Statham and Vin Diesel meet like with a tire iron fight and a Greek chorus playing in the score on a parking garage, and it's wonderful, like opera.
Yeah.
This is great, but this is the James Wan one, which who knows if Paul Walker wouldn't have died and this wouldn't have been such a big toll on him if he would have directed more of them. But I think he does a good job of keeping what Justin Lin, who I think is the best director of the series, had established and made, so good about these movies while doing his own thing as well. And if you want to listen to us talk about this, me talking more about this movie is there's the Movie Films and Flicks podcast with Aaron Newirth and I guested on to promote summer 2015 at 10, where we had a movie draft, which was the best action sequences of 2015, which Aaron beat me to the punch. He picked this scene from Fast that you were talking with the plane drop that ends in Paul Walker running up the bus that's falling off the cliff, and then Letty grabbing
Yeah.
him and all that. And then he has a fight with Tony Jaa that's pretty good. And when it was done in post with doubles and all sorts of things, and it's kinetic and fluid. And I think the Paul Walker stuff with fake Paul Walkers is like well done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, they gave him like they just kind of I mean, they didn't kill him off screen or anything. They let him live. Like they just let
mhm.
him live a happy life with family at the end. Like I tell you, Fast and Furious, family. That's the silent F in the
Coronas and
title.
family. corroding the
Yeah,
family.
like it's just I don't know, it's really sweet that like the evolution of all their characters and how they
Hmm.
came together through the whole because I was a day one with Fast and the Furious. I
Yeah,
owned the first one on DVD. I watched it when it came out in theaters. I was into it. And then of course it took a detour with Fast and the Furious 3, but
I like
I don't
Tokyo
think
Drift. It's Karate Kid with cars.
yeah, I
Um,
was gonna say it's not a bad movie. It's just not a Fast and the Furious movie in the same sense as like Halloween 2 isn't like, or not Halloween
Halloween
3
3.
is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Halloween.
I know what
It
you mean.
just kind of does its own thing.
Which I love that they embrace and never ignore stuff with Fast and Furious. They could have easily went Tokyo Drift out, but they brought it back to Tokyo Drift in
Yeah.
Furious 7 because this was the first one that picks up in present time as opposed to 4 or Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious 6, or Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6 were all set before Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
So they catch up here. And then they bring those guys back in, I think it was 9 was the one
Yeah.
they brought it back in. But yeah, I love that they embrace every single piece of it. And then, these movies are known for having a kick-ass song on the soundtrack or something like that. And this one had the ballad that was just, yeah, it hits. It hits so good. But that'll do it for this one, Greg. We'll see you again down the line this summer. But till then, where can people keep up with you? And what are a couple movies you're looking forward to this summer?
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. You can find me on all social media platforms at the McGoonies. So the McGoonies. And let's see here. I'm looking forward to the summer. I mean, I know what you did last summer, obviously. And I'm just gonna do, even though I just saw it, but I don't think many people know about, I'm gonna give a shout out to Norwegian horror film, The Ugly Sister.
Mhm.
It just came out in theaters. It'll probably be streaming by the time you listen to this, so make that a summer watch for you. It is a very cool take on Cinderella, and if you like The Substance, then this is a great movie for you to bring the energy of The Substance into a period piece. Make it your summer plan.
Perfect. I'm very excited to check that one out. And I'm on the socials at Brandon for KUHD. Always remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel for extra stuff. You can catch me this summer at Days of the Dead, the convention in Indianapolis, June 13th through 15th. Joining me on specific days will be Jessica as well as Chris Johnson from the Normies. So come check us there. And then also the PopCon Creator Summit and PopCon, which will be running me from June 25th to 29th. You can get information of those at popcon.us and popconsummit.com. Monday, Scott, Aaron, and I will be talking Hot Pursuit, Maggie, Piku, and The D Train. That's 2 different movies. It's not Piku and The D Train. It's Piku and The D Train. All that and more as the summer of 2015 at 10 continues.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.